Appreciate everybody being here. Good practice. Guys came out and took care of business, so we're one step closer. Trying to take it one day at a time. Focus on our preparation. Get ready to play a very good football team. What questions do you have?
John, you saw that the offensive lineman had an extended inside at the beginning. Any other adjustments just because of the extreme heat today?
We did. We had a couple things, with water breaks and things like that, and everybody did a great job. Felt good about the way they worked, and we got the day in.
John, you got a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, maybe some anxiety. How was you as a coach handle this all positive?
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned that because that's exactly what we talked about today in the team meeting. That's the excitement of the first game is there, just like the fans are excited. Players and coaches are excited, and sometimes you gotta take a deep breath, and just kind of settle yourself a little bit and take care of what's right in front of you. And today, what was right in front of us was meetings, taking care of themselves physically, and then having a good practice. Now it'll be another set of meetings, and then taking care of their bodies again. So one step at a time, one revolution at a time, and then get ready to play for Sunday.
How'd Mark look out there?
You look good. You look fine. Right. It's a good question. It's not really something you do way too much because we've got to focus on what we do and their scheme and what they do. We know that C.J. Stroud is extremely talented. We know that I watched him play a lot, obviously, and have the utmost respect for him, his ability, for their offense, for the system they run, for the players they have. They've got great skill players. They got a great run game, downhill run game. They had that last year too, in terms of the run the zone scheme, fullback on the field, all those things that we're going to have to be ready for. But we're just going to have to do what we do, try to do it our best that we can, and let the chips fall.
John, obviously in week one, there's a lot of new players on this team that fans are excited to see, and I know you're ready to see all these guys play, but is there anybody that you're kind of anxious to see on Sunday?
I'm anxious to see everybody. I mean, really, honestly, I'm anxious to see the team. That's the anybody I'm anxious to see is the team and all the parts of the team, that are going to be out there playing, trying to do their best. Everybody wants to play very well, very much, and we're going to try to do our best.
This is going to be Odell's first game in about a year and a half. Any thoughts or any talk about a snap count for him for his first game?
No, we haven't had that conversation. I think it's going to be part and parcel of the game plan and the personnel groups that go on the field, but he's ready to go.
Hey, John, Odell's going to be speaking a little bit here today. He shared in an interview that he texted you to tell you that you run a world-class organization. I know you're not fishing for compliments, but what does that mean?
Well, thank you, Mark.
What does that mean to get that sort of a nod from a player of his?
It'd be a lie to say it doesn't mean something, right? I mean, it means something because there's a guy that, he's been around, he knows what he's talking about, and have so much respect for him. The thing that you respect when it comes from somebody that works so hard every day at his craft. But, yeah, it was meaningful. It was appreciated, but yeah, we're not fishing for compliments. I like that.
I know he hasn't been here the whole time, but do you have a sense of sort of what he's had to overcome the last year and a half injury-wise to get back to this point?
I do. I just talked to him coming off the field. You guys saw that. That was really kind of, he'll probably tell you, but that's kind of what he's talking about. That's what he's thinking about. He's very aware of the fact that he hasn't played in a long time and how important it is and how excited he is and how much he's put into getting himself back to this point. I mean, when you commit so much, you make so many sacrifices, you work so hard, those are investments that are made with your time and your energy and your effort and your emotions and everything else. And I know he's looking for that to pay off. He's hoping that that's going to pay off and he's going to be out there playing just as hard and as well as he can because of it.
John, I think the attribute here is most often associated with Coach Monk's ability to instill confidence in the quarterbacks that he works with. We've known Lamar to be a pretty unstoppable guy, always confident. So how do you think that is going to affect how Lamar approaches these games? Yeah,
I mean, Lamar's his own man. Lamar's a confident guy, and he's confident because he's another guy that works so hard at it. I mean, Lamar has put everything into it. He has been out here. He's been studying day and night. He's been working. He's been working on all of his fundamentals, and he's ready to go. And he's ready to, like we said last week, he's ready to be on point with everything he does. So I think Todd and he they get along great. They've got to be like that. They are like that. They talk a lot. And we'll see what happens. And it's not just one game either. We're talking about a whole season in front of us.
John, I think it's implied by the amount of investment you put into the passing attack, including giving Lamar a new contract. But do you see him, just attempting more passes this season? I mean, do you see him maybe setting passing attempt season highs, and how could that influence your offense, do you think?
I mean, well, probably the answer is going to be we're going to do whatever we feel like we need to do to win, because that's always the answer. It was never, not throwing the ball or not running, whatever. It was never that. But I think just by virtue of the personality of the team, it's a pretty fair assumption that we're going to throw the ball more. No question about that, and I'm excited about that. But again, game to game, series to series, whatever needs to be done, that's what our guys are up for.
John, I understand you're not going to give up on the game plan, but defensively, I don't know that there's a corner you had that was, other than Darius Washington, that was on the practice field the entire time. How much do you have to rely on kind of versatility and matchups, or especially early in the season as some of the corners find their footing and kind of get back to form?
Yeah, I mean, I trust those players. I trust those players to go out there, corners, safeties, linebackers, the whole defense, the whole team really, to go out there and play well. I mean, we've got guys in our team for a reason. It's because they're very good players. So, that's not really a road I need to travel down in terms of concern, because I know those guys are going to go out there and play their hearts out. And they're excellent players, and the bar is high, and I'm very certain that they're going to play very well.
We can do two more guys. John, Zay Flowers, obviously a guy who's created a ton of interest around himself over the last couple months. What's your sense, based on what you've learned about him, of how he's going to make that transition from what he's done in the summer to kind of the real stage?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the pundits and the prognosticators, to quote Jack Harbaugh. I'm not either one of those. So I don't have a prediction in terms of, how he's going to fare. I think he's going to fare really well, because he's a really good player and he works really hard. And, guys like that tend to do really well. He's got talent. So I think he's going to do great, but how he's going to transition and all that, I don't know. I just think he's going to come out and play great football for us and win games for us, and that's all we really ask. To make it more than that, it's kind of like, what are we talking about here?
Good.
Good, thanks.